Okay, it's time for another CRA tip. So, I wanted to share another CRA exam story. This is when you go into an exam and you feel like you have your T's crossed and your I's dotted, and you think you understand what the examiners are looking for in terms of identified activities and documentation. And then when things go a little south. So, I've supported certain banks that have maybe had some turnover and they were going to an exam and we had a new CRA officer or professional involved and only had a couple of months to get ready for an exam. And then it turns out that this banker was only given a couple months, so focused on identifying the activities, but couldn't perfect all the documentation. And I don't know if this has happened to you. I think it's happened to many of us who've been in this over time, where resources are constrained and there's not enough time in the day, and it feels like it's all on you, right? That it sometimes we were like, okay, I'm just going to identify all these community development services and loans and investments, and I'll loop back and I will document them before the exam. Well, in this case, she was newer to the bank. She had an exam coming up and she just had to do her best, identify and document as she could. Well, it turns out the documentation wasn't quite perfected to the examiner's liking. Of course, examiners want to have everything identified and documented and everything buttoned up. And of course, that's our desired outcome too. And so this banker came back and just said, "Oh, it was such a tough exam. We got through it. I'm so proud. I was so proud of her." And at the end of the day, she's like, "I'm never going to let that happen again. I really thought I was prepared. I did my best, right?" And that after an exam, after you survive and learn and grow, then you're like, okay, that won't happen again. Any CD loan, service, or investment that is identified will be perfected with documentation. And so it's really interesting that, that is the standard, that we want everything perfected. But of course, resources are a different story sometimes due to turnover or many different factors. Well, I hope this is just a quick reminder that, to identify is one thing, but to document is another thing. And if it's not documented, sometimes we say, it didn't happen, right? So let this just be a reminder that we have to go back and document, document, document so that we can feel confident and going into our next CRA exam. Well, I hope this helped. I hope it was a quick reminder. Until next time, bye for now.